Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode and video on the Irish Guys Podcast YouTube channel. Clive's here.
Hello, lads.
How are we doing, Clive?
Not so bad, not so bad. All the better for seeing your face.
Obviously. No, we're making do at the minute as far as the podcast goes. We're sort of winging it a little bit. If you haven't already, Vesty has a sort of podcast out on Spotify, Podbean, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio.
That's a scary sentence that you just put out there. Vesty has a podcast and everywhere has got it.
We uploaded it earlier. It's Vesty driving home from work and giving his thoughts on the NFL games this weekend. So we're sort of making do as best we can with what's going on at the minute. We're sort of having to avoid each other, which is not a bad thing in fairness. But yeah, Vesty's got a wee one out. It's just audio only. So for the podcast listeners that we usually have on the apps and that, go over and check that out. An NFL fan.
Vesty's got the face for radio, so it's grand.
Absolutely. That's why he hasn't done one of these yet. But what do you call it? So anybody that's sort of following along, I've done a few of these now. I've done a few of these videos for the YouTube channel and stuff just to keep us ticking over as best we can. So I roped in Clive into this one. Clive and me sort of worked this one out. Clive's been on before, and he's a big NFL fan. So yeah, you've probably heard him already on the podcast if you've listened to our NFL episodes. But
that makes any sense. I was told that in a review. I may have written the review myself, but you're a grant.
But yeah, we've done okay to get Clive in. So I've replaced him. I've replaced Vesty eventually. What do you call it? So we're just going to do a little bit of NFL talk today with just some of the games that are coming up this weekend. It's the divisional round, obviously. Essentially the quarterfinals for the NFL. We've had Clive on before. Vesty's done a wee bit, so we're moving along okay. But we'll get into a wee bit of thoughts, tactics, and stuff, and maybe a few stats. Clive likes a good stat.
Do love a stat, Dave.
You're making me look a little bit fucking jip with this with this background you've got going on.
You've got to have a go at this. Like this is my house. This is my living room. This is what it looks like. I like the lighting.
I've been working on my lighting. I'm gonna get one of the wee rings that the makeup artists have and all. It's gonna be good.
You'll look beautiful.
I might even put on a little bit of makeup. Who knows?
Oh jeez.
It won't be the first time. But right. So decided to go with just the running order of the games this weekend anyway. Rams at Packers, Clive. What are we thinking? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. My thinking, the Packers can't lose this. I don't think the Rams should be in this game. They shouldn't have got this far. Like, for them to start with Wolford. Now, fair enough, Wolford looked quite good in the start of the game and towards the end of last season. I get it. But if you're not starting Goff last week, it's because he won't fit. And he's not fit this week. And it's a bit different playing against the Packers than it is the Seahawks defense. Now, offense, fair enough, but defense is a slightly different ballgame. So I think fit. I think Goff's anywhere near fit, and I don't think they're going to have enough for this. The big thing for me is this season is that Rodgers should be MVP, and I think he will be. Some of his stats this year are mental. Here's my first stat that you're going to love, Dave. You're going to love it. Right. So this is the 5th season that a player has had over 40 passing touchdowns and over 115 passer rating. It's the 5th time it's happened. Rodgers has done it once before. Every single quarterback on that list, the season they put up those stats, won a bowl.
Oh, I like that one.
It's interesting.
That's a good one. That's a good one. You're coming with the stats early.
I know what to say about this Packers offense. I've really enjoyed watching the Packers this year, but does that offense look a bit familiar to you? The way they're handling Rodgers, do you reckon you might have seen somebody do that before and done quite well with it? Do you reckon?
Off the top of my head?
Well, I'm saying, so what's changed under LaFleur, essentially, other than he just pissed off Rodgers by drafting a quarterback in the first round for a laugh? They are on play action 28% of the time. Rodgers dropped back now.
So you're hinting with the LaFleur McVay connection here. Is that what you're getting at?
I think it looks like Sean Payton's offense whenever we want to bowl. I'm not joking.
Fair.
It's very similar. It's a lot of run it, short passes to the running backs, lots of pitches, that kind of thing, and then it's Rodgers throwing absolute bombs out of play action, which is exactly what Drew did for years. Now he's had to change it slightly now, but that's what he did. And the thing is, that's where Packers have been good this year. Whenever they've used the play action, so of his 40 touchdowns, 20 of them were out play action.
That's interesting there, definitely. I think I definitely have been thinking that this game comes down to the Green Bay offense versus the Rams defense.
Yeah.
I suppose the other side of the ball is, or like the flip reverse is always going to have an effect, and maybe that's the side where the game actually gets won at, because maybe these two sides, Green Bay's offense and the Rams defense, maybe neutralize each other a little bit. But the Rams defense, as far as I know, this year has been is the best defense graded against a deep pass, and the Green Bay's offense has the best deep completion percentage this year.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. That's going to be a big matchup. Like, obviously you have the Jalen Ramsey connection, the Jalen Ramsey Devontae Adams matchup, which is going to be fascinating.
Adams is going to be unbelievable.
Yeah, that's going to be good. Like,
who do you think's going to win that? Not necessarily the game, but just that battle.
But see, the thing is too, when you're sort of talking about individual 1v1 matchups too, the Rams' defensive scheme has been good. The Rams' defense from about the midpoint in this season has been good, and like you have to take in other outside factors too. Like, do they bracket somebody across to help?
Well, yeah, they'll roll Adams 100%. I think because they play too deep, don't they?
Yeah.
So I think they'll obviously stay in the too deep, but they'll roll the protection so that Ramsey gets some help against Adams. My question is going to be, does Ramsey follow him? Is it man on man? Is he putting him on an island? Because Adams plays out the slot an awful lot.
That's an interesting one there. Like, I don't think it'll be pure straight up man coverage. I don't think that. The Rams do run a lot of zone, but it's sort of like a man zone scheme too, and then I think they will bracket at least a little bit to give him help over the top, because Devontae Adams' route running's unbelievable. But that's going to be a key matchup there. Like, that's going to be unbelievable.
Do you know how many times Adams has played against Ramsey?
No.
Once.
Right.
First game in the NFL for the Jags. It was the only time he's played him. You know how many catches he had that day?
How much? Oh, no.
And it was just a little swing pass, 7 yards. That's all he got. The other thing is, you kind of said about it's a number one defense against deep passing offense against one of the best deep pass defenses in the league. Rodgers and Adams against first team all pro corners aren't brilliant statistically. So Rodgers and Adams have only 7 times in their careers played against first team all pro corner the year that he's won it. What do you reckon the record is in 7 games?
2-5.
They're 1-6.
Oh.
1-6. Played against Sherman, Josh Norman, Pat Peterson twice, Kyle Fuller twice, and Stephon Gilmore, and they've won one of them. Now, the thing about that is they've not done it for a while, and they've not done it since Matt LaFleur's come in. Is it different?
The thing is, this is where the sort of, Aaron Rodgers and nobody else really stepping up. You've had the little bursts of like Lazard, and stuff like that there too. Other players, Tonyan's appeared and has played better this last week. He's definitely improved, but Rodgers definitely had a lack of weapons. Drop balls and stuff as well too. as a secondary option. But that side of the ball is really where it's at in this game. Like, we haven't even got on to talking about Aaron Donald yet.
Well, can you make a case? I think Packers will win it, but can you make a case, or how would you make a case for Rams winning this game? What would have to happen?
I think I would go with. The Rams defense and Aaron Donald getting pressure on Rodgers enough that he has to hurry up. Maybe generating at least one turnover, a pick or something along those lines. Probably a pick and maybe like an advantageous position, maybe a turnover in Green Bay's half, and then on the other side of the ball, I would say the Rams would have to have Goff. I think they would have to have Goff healthy. That's another thing we'll have to get talking about Walford and Goff and who's going to play. But I think that they would have to have Goff healthy, and I think that Sean McVay would have to draw up a good. They would have to keep Aaron Rodgers below 20 points because I don't think that they'll score a lot, and I think that the Rams would have to run the ball exceedingly well.
I think that's the key. They have to run it because if they have to keep putting Goff out there and getting them to throw it, it's not going to work. So I think that fundamentally they've got to run. It'll be Cam Akers, won't it? He's got to have an absolute day out. Mainly to keep Rodgers off the field for as long as they can. One possible way in that they might have is Bakhtiari went down, didn't he? The left tackle.
He did.
And you look at that Rams D line.
Yep.
That's quality. It's unbelievable. So if they can nullify the run and make Rodgers throw it, make him have to throw it, then you get into the sort of Adams-Ramsey matchup, and you take your chance on that.
That was the way I was going to say, as far as, Green Bay maybe having to make adjustments. I think, obviously, when you sort of look at the deep pass completion versus, deep pass defense on the Rams side, Aaron Jones could be a difference maker for A-Rod this week. Aaron Jones could run the ball quite well, catching swing passes and stuff out of the backfield, little screens and things too. They could move up and down the field that way a lot better. But at the same time, you're running against the likes of Aaron Donald and stuff too, so you need to be very creative with what you're doing. I think it needs to be a lot more screen game and stuff like that there. Just handing it off and letting Aaron Jones trying to bust out between the tackles is a bit more difficult when you have the likes of Aaron Donald in there.
Yeah. I think that bit of the game will be interesting. How good are the Rams defense going to have to be? I think you're right. They're going to have to keep them under 20 points, and they're just going to have to be, either really clinical when they've got it, or they're going to need some scores in defense. Absolutely, they need to get pick sixes, fumble recoveries. They have to do that. Make the field really short so that Goff's not got a lot to do and not got that many throws to make.
It's gonna have to be a low scoring game. Like, the other thing is too, we've sort of both said that they need to run the ball quite well. But again, if you're not keeping Aaron Rodgers from scoring on the other side, you can't run it. You're gonna have to chase the game too. I think there's some matchups that they can take advantage of. I think, if Robert Woods runs around, plays in the slot a little bit, Green Bay's defense has been okay, sort of solid-ish, but it hasn't been great anywhere, really. I think that they're a wee bit more vulnerable on the ground than they are in the air, but they've had a few injuries and stuff too, so the Rams are going to have to keep this game low scoring, definitely. There's no way that they're going to get away with this and win this. If they're not going to get away with this if they have to get Goff out there slinging the ball 30 times, 40 times. It's not going to happen.
What's your prediction?
Predictions. So you're going Packers?
I'm going to go Packers, and I'm going to go 30-22.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I think they'll do it.
I'll go with the Packers also. I'll go 24-16. 24-16.
Yeah, you go 8-point difference.
Yeah.
It should be. I should be.
Right. Moving on. One of the tastier games on Saturday night. Ravens at Buffalo.
This is the one I'm most looking forward, other than obviously the one.
Kiss my ass is the one you're most looking forward to.
This one is going to be quality. I'm really looking forward to this game.
Yeah.
There's so much going on. So many good matchups. Two teams that were one and done in the playoffs last year. It's just, there's so much.
There's a lot of talking points around this one. Vesty on his little
tangent,
on his wee tangent, just started shouting at me, and then shouting about Josh Allen. So go and listen to Vesty's little ramble on Spotify if you haven't already. It's good banter. But this is a big one. This is a real. This is, if it wasn't for the Brady playing Breeze, this is the matchup of the weekend. Like,
yeah. I think the key, like, Allen's not good against he's never been good against the Ravens. He's played them twice and lost twice, but like, I just feel like Bills are different now. Like, it's not, because they used to just be a really good defense, and then they'd sort of try and run it a bit, and then maybe if the quarterback could make the odd completion, it'd be lovely. But they're just different with Allen. The defense isn't as good, is one thing, but they look a lot. They're so good to watch in offense. But can Allen do it in the playoffs? We'll see.
I'm very interested in this one. Again, I think that this matchup will be based on which team's defense can slow the other team down.
Yeah.
The Bills this season, their passing attack has been fantastic. They've been really, like, you sort of think about the Bills a couple of years ago, as you were saying about, you think of defense and run first, run them with the backs, run them with Josh Allen. Sort of what the Ravens are a little bit, but it's developed from that now. Now they're not good on, they're not good running the football other than Josh Allen himself, and their passing attack has been dynamic this year. It's been really, really good. So I think the matchups there are going to be fun. You have Humphrey, Smith, and Marcus Peters versus Diggs, Cole Beasley, and John Brown.
I'm going to tell you who's going to win that one now. That's going to be Diggs. Like, on his own. That's it. Never worry about the rest of them. Diggs winning that.
I think he wins the matchup, but there's a few ball hawks on that Ravens secondary there that they do like an interception. Like, Marcus Peters loves a pick.
Yeah, I do like the Ravens defense. The Bills one, it's all about Bills stopping the run to me. I think, like, Lamar's going to throw it, he's going to make completions and that kind of thing. Like, the Bills have to stop the run. Last week against the Colts, I didn't think they were that good against the run. And I mean, Colts have got a good run defense. Yeah, they have, but 163 yards of running offense they shipped against the Colts. Like, Ravens' offense's run game is going to be better than that. If they can't keep Ravens to less than that, I think they're in trouble.
The Bills' run defense is the second worst in the NFL.
That's worrying.
That's really worrying. Like, the one, like, if you were lining out a game plan of what way you were going to want the Colts to attack this and to win the game, it's run the ball, which they're obviously very, very good at, but establish it, dominate on the ground because their defense is bad against the run. And then you're also keeping Josh Allen and that sort of, like, high-powered Bills offense off the field.
Knowing that, what would you do defensively if you were the Ravens? How do you play against Josh Allen?
How do you play against Josh Allen? You have to create pressure. You have to speed him up. I would be blitzing a lot.
Well, interesting to say that, because Ravens defense blitzed more than anybody in the league. They blitzed on 45% of their snaps this year, which is mental. It's just like every other play, we're just going to try and hit you every single. Mental.
Well, they play a 3-4, so you always have to have somebody coming from the second level. You always have to have a backer coming, and then you can throw in maybe two backers, or you could throw in a corner coming from somewhere as well. But that's, I think that you have to speed him up. Don't let him get through his progressions. And I think with, like, the likes of Calais Campbell and stuff like that there, Matthew Judon and all in around there, I think that you can congest him, put pressure on him so that he can't. I think the teams are still worried about the run with Josh Allen because he does put his head down, tuck it and go quite a bit. And I think that, especially when you see what this Ravens sort of run defense did to Derrick Henry last week, I think they can sort of take that run game away from Josh Allen a little bit. So that'll pressure him into having to throw, but you need to speed him up. I think you need to get pressure on him. Make him run through his progressions quicker.
Well,
make mistakes.
I think that the thing that Josh Allen's best at is against the blitz. Like that's where he gets all his touchdowns. Like I think I read somewhere like 15 touchdowns he's got this year, all against blitz. So it's such, and part of that you've got Diggs, isn't it? Just like, if in doubt, chuck it up and see what happens. And Diggs will win it for you generally. So I don't know. I think when it comes to it, I would probably, I would blitz him on double Diggs and see what else he's got. Because he can't run if you blitz him, not if you blitz him well. And if his out ball is just to chuck it up and hit Diggs, make sure that's not an option. Is he going to find Beasley? Is he going to find, what's the other guy? Gabriel Davis, is that the one?
Oh, Gabriel Davis too, yeah.
Yeah. Can he find them? Can they do enough damage? I don't know. But the Ravens defensive coordinator, a guy, Don Martindale, who's just a bit mental, and he is the guy to be coaching the Ravens defense. And someone pointed out these stats to him this week and said, is that going to change your game plan? And he just said, we're going to blitz. He's like, no.
Well, put it like this. If you look at maybe last week in the Tennessee Titans as well, they have two good receivers in Corey Davis and A.J. Brown. They had a good running game. Now it comes from Derrick Henry rather than Josh Allen, really.
Yeah.
And what they did to them last week. Now, definitely, I think Josh Allen is a better quarterback than Ryan Tannehill. I think he's capable of making more throws. But, they did hurry him up. They put a lot of pressure on Tennessee and stuff too. That Ravens defense just came on a lot since the start of the season. It's got progressively better over the season. And then if you have long drives where the Ravens offense is on the field, it puts a lot more pressure on Josh Allen to come out and make plays,
But he likes coming out and making plays.
Would it...
And he's going to blitz.
Who are you going for?
Best he's going to love me.
Are you going for the Bills?
I think the Bills are going to do it.
Right.
I think they will.
I'm taking the Ravens here. When I did these videos last week, I sort of think that the Ravens might make a Super Bowl run here. Now, obviously, they're in the position to do so. They've won a game. They can move on. Would it change your opinion if I told you that the weather is forecasted for snow?
No.
What?
No, I can see Josh Allen doing it because he's for himself.
But snow affects, snow makes it a run game,
Yeah, I don't know. It goes against the stats. It goes against everything I'm looking at. I just see Josh Allen chucking one long to Diggs when he's being blitzed, and there'll be three men hanging off him when he make it anyway. I can just see it.
It's a late night game, lad. It's going to be Baltic, and it's forecast to give snow in the PM. So what snow's like in Buffalo. It's not.
That's mental.
It's not a little sleet. It could be covered.
Bills by 3.
Oh.
I'm telling you, I'm calling it.
I don't know. If there's snow, which is forecast, obviously that leans heavily towards a run game. Both offenses, and we know that the Ravens run the ball far better than Buffalo, and Buffalo's run defense is poor, and Buffalo's offense don't run the ball well. And
they're missing, is it Zach Moses has gone down, isn't he? There's going to be a lot of T.Y. Yeldon and Singletary, won't it?
Mm-hmm.
I can see it happening.
Change your mind?
No, Bills are going to do it. Bills by 3.
Bills by 3.
Probably about 17-14, like.
Oh, God. I'll go... I'm going to go Ravens 24, Bills 17.
Well, Tom will be delighted with that.
Yeah, I'm back on the Ravens here. I'm back. I think I'm back on the Ravens to maybe go all the way here.
No.
That's where I'm at.
No.
So that's going to be an interesting game. Next up's the Browns and the Chiefs on Sunday. Tell me how you win this game if you're the Cleveland Browns, Clive.
Well, they can't. It's not going to happen. It's just the only chink of light that they might have that they do really well and the Chiefs don't do well. Chiefs secondaries allowed over 2,000 yards after the catch this year. So they've given more yards after the catch, than Jacksonville or New York Jets. So you look at the Browns' passing offense. That's good. Like, I mean, in terms of a lot of it's short stuff to get it to Jarvis Landry out of the slot. Like, that'll suit them. They'll go for that.
Yeah.
And they just have to run it. They have to run it all day long. And again, they're good at that. You look at Chubb and Hunt. They're good. And the Chiefs' run defense isn't great either. I know the passing offense is brilliant. The Browns averaged 160 yards whenever Chubb played this year, 160 yards a game. So I can see that working. That's the best argument you can make. You just run it loads, keep Pat Mahomes off the field, but you have to score because Pat doesn't need long to score. It's not he eats up time of possession. It's a lot about the Browns basically keeping it, and then punching it in with lots of run. That's the only way they can do it. And Browns do that because I think where do they have it somewhere? Yeah, they scored touchdowns on 72% of the times they've got inside the red zone, which is great. That's unbelievable stuff. So that's their way in, but they're not winning.
I sort of jotted down, as I said, I do find it hard to pin down an area where I think that the Browns can cause an upset here. So I've got a couple of thoughts. The Chiefs have 2 weeks off. Is there any credence to they might have a slow start?
No. I do think teams.
I'm not convinced with it either.
Teams coming off the bye, they do struggle, but it's like half of the first quarter, and I can't. Like, can you see Baker going out there and just lighting them up and being 14, 21 points up by the end of the first quarter? Nah, because it's going to be slow run. It's just not. It's not set up for them.
The thing, there's a couple of areas where I was sort of thinking about how Kansas maybe, struggle in this game. So Kansas haven't been as good this last few weeks. They haven't been as efficient and clinical, really, with some of their scoring. They've been in a lot of tighter games than they should have been in, really. So I thought that possibly, like, the Browns did start the game the other night against the Steelers. They came out of the blocks just rapid and had the Steelers down early. The worrying thing then is that the Steelers actually fought their way back into that game very slowly but surely. Denzel Ward's back this week, so you might have a wee bit of a Tyreek Hill matchup as well. But the other one, maybe they start quick. Maybe they can create a turnover, maybe get a couple early scores, and then they have to run the ball, keep Kansas off the field for as long as they can. Did you see the other week there with Philly Rivers? He was like running the play clock down, even in the first quarter, down right to the end.
Yeah.
A lot of that needs to go on as well. They need to keep Kansas off the field as best they can.
Is Edwards playing?
Say again?
Edwards-Helaire, he's questionable, isn't he?
Uh-huh.
So that makes a difference because, like, current Le'Veon Bell is on about 4 yards a carry at the minute.
Yeah. The only other way I see them winning it is be incredibly aggressive. Go for it on fourth downs. Yeah. If you're in the red zone and you're thinking about kicking a field goal, don't. If it's 4th and 3 and you're maybe on the, say the 15-yard line or whatever, go and try and get the 3 yards because you're gonna need to convert and punch it in and put points up because Kansas can be 2 scores down, 3 scores down and turn that around in a quarter or half a quarter. So Cleveland have to be really aggressive here as well.
I think that'll suit them. They'll want to be aggressive, and I think there'll be a lot of. You'll see them run on third down a lot, and try and pick it up on third down. And then if they don't get it, but they get it to fourth and very short, then yeah, absolutely they should go for it. But I just can't see Pat. Like he's got too many weapons out there. Pat's just gonna, even if they're down by 14 going into the last quarter, you're still thinking now they've got time here. Like,
The only other one I had was Kansas are the best in the league versus deep passes. The deep completion percentage versus Kansas's defense has been the lowest in the league. So Baker does like to take a shot down the field every now and then. You know, when they establish the run heavy, and then, you know, a bit of play action, Baker does like to sling the odd one down the field. But Kansas have been pretty good as far as, you know, breaking that up down the field.
Yeah, still not enough. They're not winning it. It's just not happening.
To be fair, I think there could be points in this game. You know,
yeah.
But I think Cleveland can still put points up. You know, even though you always assume that Kansas are going to put up points, but you know, I still think that the Browns might put up a few scores as well.
Yeah, but will it be because they're just chasing the game?
Yeah, that could be it too.
I think so. I can't see it. I could have predicted them beating the Steelers. I could have seen that happening just because I think the Steelers' easy schedule, and they're just not as good as they used to be. I could see why that would happen, but to beat the defending champions at home whenever they're still really good and they've had a week off, I can't see it.
Yeah, I'm struggling. I'm struggling to find any way that I run the ball, play keep away, get off to a hot start and be incredibly aggressive. I think you're gonna have to, and Baker's gonna have to play a clean game too. Like no turnovers, nothing along those lines. He can't throw a pick, and you just have to hope that maybe Kansas aren't at it.
Yeah, get them on an off day, but it's all about them winning that. I think Chiefs will get through.
What are you going for then? Give me a score prediction.
I would go as far as to say it's going to be about 45 to 30. That'll be meant. Yeah, that's what'll happen.
Fair enough. I'll go maybe something a little bit less nuts. I'll go maybe 38, 27, maybe.
Yeah.
38, 27, possibly. Right.
Hitting for. Here we are, lads.
Are you nervous? Don't know me.
I'm telling you that. Nope. I'm not even worried.
Yeah. So last game, Sunday primetime is the Saints are hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and yeah, this is the biggest game of the weekend. Do you know what? It's a wee bit of a shame. I know that earlier on in the career, like Brady had the sort of matchups consistently with Peyton Manning, but it's a wee bit of a shame that Brady hasn't ran into the likes of Drew Brees, more often. Like,
yeah, definitely.
But, just because they're two generational quarterbacks, they're two of the very, very best at what they've done throughout their career. But this is gonna be fun.
It's all about the Saints. It is all about the Saints. I am 100% convinced.
Right.
I've put a significant amount of your money on this.
So, the Saints did sweep the regular season series against the Bucs.
Of course we did.
Comprehensive enough. Even in the second game, the first game you kind of can let Brady away with it a little bit. No off season really, and then you just get thrown in against the Saints in the opening matchup. But the second, was it 38-3?
38-3 in week 9.
Oh,
4 touchdowns off Breezy, no interceptions, no problem.
Right.
I think they're in trouble. Honestly, I was happy when I knew it was them we were playing. I was. I'm not joking. Sean Payton against Bruce Arians is never been a contest. Payton's beat him. He's played him 4 times and beat him 4 times. He's not bothered. He's got his offense worked out. It's not a problem. And do you know what really peeved me? what's really peeved me is there's been loads of people saying, "Oh well, they've went back to back against them in the regular season. It's very, very hard to beat a team 3 times in the one season." Utter nonsense. Utter nonsense. I actually looked it up because it was irritating me that much. 32 times teams have played back to back or played twice in the regular season and then played in the playoffs. How many times did the team that won the 2 games win out of 32?
26.
Well, it's 20. So 20 times. So more often than not, they win the 3rd game anyway. So
it's always hateful when you're trying to ask somebody a question and they go over what you're looking.
Yeah, it's like whenever somebody asks you how much something is, and you just kill the conversation dead immediately just by £1 million.
Yeah. Brady's playing better than Breeze.
Yeah.
He is.
And
and the Bucks have looked better over recent weeks. Much better. They just look. It looks like Brady's got the offense, and he's in the groove with it now. He knows where he needs to put the ball. He's adapted. They didn't really adapt. They didn't really adapt the system to him. He's went in and sort of learned the Bruce Arians system. He is throwing it down the field quite a bit, and that is very Bruce Arians like. So,
you seen RDBs there? Have you seen him? Have you seen RDBs?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you one thing. This is important. Tell you who never plays well against the Saints ever.
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans has a stinker every single time because we put Marshawn Lattimore on him and he can't get back. He just can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly what's going to happen on Sunday.
The thing is here is Brady definitely looks like he's settled into the offense a good bit more. They do look a little bit more cohesive. He's finding the receivers that he needs to find. You've started to see even AB feature a good bit more. Antonio Brown, he's featuring more in this offense as well. Godwin as well is playing better. He's coming off that hand injury. Mike Evans, even though he was hurt, has played fantastic this last few weeks. And you've even seen the run game start to be established. Leonard Fournette had a great day the last day. So their offense is definitely, it's improved a lot since the last time he's played.
Yeah, I think they have. He's missing Alex Kappa on the offensive line, which is a big miss for them, especially for the run game, because that is where he's really, really good. But the other thing for the Saints was 2 things. One, this weekend is the first time all season we've got everybody fit on our offense. The first time. You think about Michael Thomas last year, NFL record for receptions in a season. He missed 9 games this year.
I know all about it. I had him.
Yeah. But he's back, played last weekend, 73 yards and a touchdown. He's there. Jared Cook's been really, really good at tight end. He was actually our top touchdown receptions this year was him. So he's been really good. And then you haven't even mentioned Alvin Kamara. Defend him. Go on, do it.
See, what's interesting in this game is I think that Brady's definitely playing better than Breeze. Breeze isn't what he once was. But the other thing surrounding this is where the Saints are better than the Buccaneers. If you look at the Buccaneers offense, at least, talent-wise, you'd go, yeah, well, that Buccaneers offense is better. But I 1,000,000 times trust Sean Payton more than I'll ever trust Bruce Arians to draw up an offensive game plan and scheme to beat the other team. Especially in this matchup, as you said earlier, Sean Payton, he's a phenomenal head coach, and Breeze has been in this system. It's more fluid, it's more cohesive. He knows it better than Brady will know his at the minute, and there's no doubt about it. Sean Payton's a better head coach than Bruce Arians is, so that's the leveler, I think, on offense. I think Brady is playing better and he might have better talent, but the leveler, I think, in this offensively anyway is Sean Payton and that offensive scheme. He'll know how to dissect that Bucs defense a lot better, I think, than what Brady can what Brady can do.
Yeah. And the other thing is that our defense, Dave, is unbelievable. It is genuinely by a mile the best defense. It's better than the defense we had when we won a bowl. A goal. Definitely is. But it was the fifth best defense in the league this year. 21 points a game average. Top 5 in every stat.
Your front seven is fantastic.
Yeah.
Your front seven, I don't really think that your secondary is great. I don't even think that Marshawn Lattimore's great. Now he's great in matchups versus Mike Evans, weirdly enough, but I don't think that they're great. But that front seven generates enough pressure and confusion to speed up, opposing quarterbacks, and then the defense and the secondary can hold up better. That front seven is that's where the game. I think that's where the game's won and lost here. That Bucs O-line's been okay, but it's a little bit makeshift at the minute. And that front seven for New Orleans it's unbelievable. It's really, really, really good.
I just think it's interesting. Obviously, the like you said about the offenses, you've got Sean Payton's going to find holes, and Brady will find holes somewhere at some point. But it's how both defensive coordinators actually approach this, because you've got Todd Bowles in charge of the Bucs defense. He is very boom or bust. He will blitz at times. You think, well, what on earth is he doing? And I think he's just got to get that wrong maybe twice, and it could be game over.
Well, the one thing I found out from just looking up some stuff, he was trying to do that to Breeze in the last matchup. He was really trying to speed him up. He was trying to throw him a lot of different looks. He was trying to keep him off balance. And, Drew needs a wee bit more time now because his arm isn't as good. His arm's not what it was. So he needs a bit more time to, plant himself, make the throws and get it there. So he has to be, he needs just a wee bit longer in the pocket because he needs to, plant himself and really throw himself into it to get the ball where it needs to be. Because he hasn't really got the zip on it that he used to have. So if he's trying to fit it into tight when he's brilliant at anticipation anyway. His anticipation's unbelievable. That's what'll make the difference. And it bears out in this one thing. Breeze hit 12 different receivers the last time they played. He was dinking and dunking it to everybody. He was, assessing where the blitz was coming from, where the pressure was coming from, and then hitting the hole where, the linebacker or whatever should have been like.
I just think that I don't know how we're going to approach Brady. We'll probably just do we did when we held him at 3 points last time, but because it's handy done, sure, whatever. I don't think we'll keep him to 3 points this time. But I just think our defense will do a better job of getting our hands on Brady than they're going to do slowing down Breeze. I think that's what it's going to come down to, because we've got too many ways of scoring. You could sell out and stop Kamara, but it won't matter because we'll just find another way of doing it. Or if you decide to leave him, he'll run at you. Whereas I think I could see us getting into the Bucs run game. I could see it happening. And then when you start doing that, Brady has to start throwing it. And if he has to start throwing it, we start putting him on the ground. And he is about 90.
The pressure you can generate with Cam Jordan and the boys there is unbelievable. And it's that old adage, you have to rush Brady up the middle, get in his face, don't go around him. So all them things, and Sean Payton will know all that, and I'm assuming that this week they'll have drawn up a defensive scheme and what they want to do to nullify Brady.
Bollard, I think he'll have started planning for next week. Move on, it's easy. Been there, done it.
couple of stats for you. From the last game for Brady versus the Saints defense and what they've been able to do to him. Brady's passing grade against everybody else in the league versus the 2 games that he's already played for against the Saints. Against the rest of the league, Brady's passing grade is 92.3. Against the 2 games, against the Saints or whatever, 67.4.
Yeah.
That's it. Week 9, Brady versus the Blitz. In your matchup when you won, what was it, 30-3. So Brady v the Blitz that day was 5 for 11, and he threw 2 interceptions.
Well, that's how to do it, isn't it?
Get pressure.
Yeah. I just can't see it happening. And the other thing about Brady, everyone's banging on about how well he's been playing and the offense has been playing, that kind of thing. They played Washington last week.
Yeah.
Washington, they're not a great team, but they did have a top 5 defense this season, which is good. They got to the red zone 5 times last week and scored a touchdown once.
Mm-hmm.
So is it all working as smoothly as everybody's saying it is? Saying, oh, he's in it now and that kind of thing. It's not really if you can't punch it in.
Well, the thing is the Bucks defense started the season quite well and then just got progressively worse as the season went on. I think maybe a few of them sort of elder statesmen on the front line haven't just been as good as and there's older players there and stuff too. So as the season's gone on, they've got worse. I think having time off and then coming into the season they were maybe fresher, so they were generating a lot of pressure, and then it was saving the back end. They were getting to the quarterback, giving opposition quarterbacks a lot less time. So then the secondary and its weaknesses weren't exposed. But as the season went on, I think a lot of them elder players their performances have dropped, probably because they're older. And then now they're not getting to the quarterback as frequently or anywhere near as often. So now the weaknesses in Tampa Bay's secondary are there for everybody to see. Like,
do you think it'll be high scoring?
What I'm thinking. This could be a classic. Like,
I think it'd be a great game, but we win it. Do you know what I want to see, Dave? I want to see.
Do you want to see
from 1 yard line? That's what I want to see. With like 10 seconds left in the clock, and I want to see Breeze QB sneak it. That would just make my life. Just to watch him go over the pie. Did you see the one he tried last weekend? Yeah. Where he tried to sneak and didn't get it? Yeah. Yeah, not that.
Remember he used to just jump over the top? That was Breeze's one. Breeze used to just jump over and lean over the top.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. That would make my life.
This has got all the bearings of just being a classic, because even like me and you have been friends long enough and played enough Madden and watched enough NFL together, and the Saints and the Vikings have ran into each other enough that I know the fear of Drew Brees coming down the stretch. Yeah. I still think like Brady's had a lot of game-winning drives in his career, but as far as running, just specifically running a 2-minute offense, there's nobody like Drew Brees. Like,
nobody.
And if this game, all I want from this game, because this could be fucking fantastic, all I want from this game is it to be a one score either way with about 6 minutes left. That just right there, it
would just be, you just imagine them doing the cameras back between Breeze and Brady, just constantly talking to their teammates, that kind of thing. It would be unbelievable. Just be defensive coordinators running about, just going, I don't know, just smashing headphones and everything.
Because, they're both incredible competitors too, and it must be a great week for them two men as well, knowing that they're going up against each other. They've had the sort of rivalry. Brady's lost 2 already. He'll be seething. And Breeze isn't what he once was, but Brady's still playing at an elite level. It's good for the league, boy. It's just good that these two are going to be playing. It would have been better if they had ended up in like the championship game together.
Yeah.
But, it's bound to be cool for them too as well, because I'd say there's nothing but mutual respect between the two of them as well.
I think Breeze, this is it. Like, he's gone after this.
He is.
Yeah. I know he's not confirmed anything like that, but I think he does this season, and that's it.
There's been sort of tentative rumors that he's got some sort of deal lined up with like NBC or something as well for next year. So there's nothing confirmed, but it looks pretty nailed on that this is Drew's last hurrah. Like, so.
If his career ends with us getting beat by the Bucks in the playoffs and bloody Brady at quarterback, not all right for that. I'll cry.
There's a long way to go. Nobody wins the Super Bowl via winning this game, but if Brady beats Breeze and moves on to an NFC Championship game with the potential of going to a Super Bowl, in all fairness, what's pure class about this is Brady's now in the NFC. So you have you're meeting probably Drew Brees you're meeting Drew Brees right now. You're probably going to meet Aaron Rodgers in the NFC Championship game.
Oh, glorious!
and then maybe like meet Mahomes or somebody. Well, I think I'm going to take the Ravens, but maybe meet Mahomes in the Super Bowl. That's top drawer stuff.
That's a hell of a run, isn't it?
Hi, where are you going? What? Give us a score there, Clive.
It could be anything. That's the thing. Like, it could be absolutely anything. I am going to go definitely Saints by 2, but we'll do it. Like, I'm confident we're going to win this by not very much. 35-33, I'm going to go. There's points in this. Of course there is.
I'm going to go... Ugh. I genuinely have no idea. This could go to overtime or anything.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah. Fully see that. Breeze he's taking overtime. Oh, yes.
What am I thinking? I think it all comes down to who gets out early in this. You know, I think Brady needs to be good early. I don't if that Saints defense starts, pinning his ears back and really going after him, and he's struggling. I think that he could maybe struggle a bit. Oh, what score am I going to do? 30-27 Bucks.
Oh no! No, there's no way, no chance.
I'm not even confident saying that. That's more of a dig at you.
I did notice that.
I think that the rest. I think the surrounding pieces, even though the Brady's got deadly offensive weapons as far as wide receivers go, the scheme, the coaching, the defensive side of the ball, and sort of familiarity with the system and everything, that's all on the Saints' side. Like, all of that is, I think it's still Brady, and I trust him right now a little bit more than I trust Drew Brees, just because he's playing at a better level. And I don't care. I have no money on this. I just want to see. All I want for this game is 6 minutes left, and it's a one-score game, and then I'll be happy.
I won't.
No. You'll be on the. I wouldn't want to be you on Sunday night.
You see, if we lose this, like, my phone's just going to get ejected out the nearest window and never be seen again. Like, I'm not even going to entertain that.
Oh man, I will be all over the Brady memes and the wee Monday morning when he's doing his wee Instagram live. Like, we're still playing. It's January. On the next week. No, as I said, if it's a one-score game in the last 6 minutes, like, how terrified are you going to be if there's 2 minutes 40 seconds on the clock, you score a touchdown to go up, but you're only up by 3, and you just hand the ball to Brady?
I'll be sitting there going, please, for the love of God, can Brady just keep throwing this at Mike Evans, because Lattimore will get one on. But yeah, I'm happy.
You've had a bit of a rough time in the playoffs this last couple of years, Clive.
I know, but it's nice to be there, Dave. How's the Vikes getting on?
Well, a bit of an awkward season, but sure, it's been all right. We'll acquire points.
If only someone had predicted that. You know what I mean?
I predicted them to do very well, and then there was defensive holdouts and injuries all over the place in the first 5 weeks, so we were shit.
If only someone had maybe gone on a very reputable and well-known podcast before the season even started and said, listen, Davey, the Vikes are going to finish third, and was ridiculed, laughed out of the building for saying that sort of thing.
But that was a dig at me. That wasn't a calm take.
Well, sometimes, Dave, the truth hurts, doesn't it?
Oh, well, all you need to make Evans to catch one in the end zone with about 30 seconds left, and Clive will have a meltdown. Yeah,
I will. Also, just for anybody that's keeping score on how inaccurate your predictions are, you also had the Bucs winning this division and the Falcons finishing above us.
Yeah, I didn't trust Drew Brees. I thought he was done.
Well, that was stupid, wasn't it?
Well, look, he hasn't been great. But it's gonna be a fascinating game, to be fair. I'm really, really looking forward to it. As I said, if it's a one-score game late in the fourth quarter, I'm a happy man. I'll be thoroughly enjoying it. But thanks, Clive, for coming on, jumping on, and helping out. If anybody has been keeping track, we're uploading a few videos to YouTube now. Bestie, I'll maybe do a few more of the sort of just random audio recordings, and I'll throw them up on You can literally hear him driving, like, and putting an indicator on and all. But he'll maybe do a few more of his wee audio recordings, and I'll throw them up on the podcast sites: Podbean, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. I'll keep bombing away at these wee what do you call it? These wee just YouTube videos and stuff. So maybe we'll get you back on again, Clive, next week if you're free. We would have planned a different one as well, but we'll maybe keep that under wraps. We'll maybe do something else, and then if I will maybe see what happens and maybe try and get something sorted for maybe the build up of next week, the championship games.
You mean the Packers Saints game?
The Packers Saints. Right. Well, thanks very much for listening, folks, and tuning in. This one will be out pretty shortly. And yeah, that's good. Good job, Clive. Good work.
Cheers.
All right. Thanks, folks. Cheers.